I feel like today could be another day where it feels like we make some real progression and it looks really different from how it does now. Quite excited to get started, even though the weather's a bit grey and colder. So I was going to do this top cupboard here now as the next sort of job while you got on with the next coat of those, but I've just realised I can't do that yet.
No.
Let me show you. So if I was to put the top cupboard up here,
Yeah.
like that, it's then going to make accessing this area here difficult.
Yes. Yeah.
And if we're going to put a big box in there, I'm just trying to envisage trying to do that around whatever's here. So unfortunately, I can't actually jump onto that straight away.
No, you need to get Nix's home
Yeah.
sorted. This is her side.
Go on. Sarah's ill.
Because of you!
I'm feeling better now. Well, I'm at 80-90%. Sarah's down at the 10% mark.
Not good.
Okay, this is what it looks like up here. I think we'll try to keep this plastic sort of tray down just because it's convenient and it fits and it's nice. So I'm going to try to fit some wood that runs down this side here, nice little angle, and then we'll try to get a bit that fits over the back of this and then another end this side, and then we will put a little divide in the middle. I think I'm getting somewhere quite close, so I'm going to make a very quick mock-up out of some thin wood that's an old offcut. Actually fits quite nicely in there. A little modification, I'm going to bring it forward a bit. I'm going to cut this out of thicker wood now, the one we'll actually use in the final piece. Then I can modify and cut this one down again a little bit for the end pieces. I'll now start butchering this one up to get it to fit the side. Shouldn't actually take too long. It's going in easier than I thought it would. Much nicer than this.
I can't hear. Sorry?
This is much nicer than this.
Yeah, I agree. I just hope it dries like that, like the beam did. Because the beam looks really nice.
Actually fits quite nicely in there. Just try this side. Yeah, also great. I'll cut one more of those.
This is for your beds. Where do you think you're going?
Okay, so now that is finished, and I can go back onto my original job of the day, which is beginning to measure this. Probably won't manage to have time to get all of that done, but can get started and get stuff ready as much as I can do, I guess. It's really hard to maneuver around with this on the floor. I'm going to take a measurement of the height, so I know exactly how high off the floor they are. Then I'm going to take a measurement from the edge just here to the edge of the arch, and then I can replicate that on this side, so then I know exactly how wide or deep these cupboards need to be to visually look the same as they do on the other side. Whilst I'm here, I'm actually just going to draw a line along here exactly where that is, just so it's a little easier to line it up later on. Now I'm back to my most tedious, frustrating little thing, which is playing with cardboard, trying to get stuff to fit right. Luckily this from the one over there isn't far off fitting already, pretty much they're ready to go. What I'm struggling with here is that fits pretty perfectly, but I don't think this is horizontal, it's also not low enough. And this side here is also not vertical, so I think the easiest way is going to be to try and get the bottom of this in so that we can hold this up and then get some idea of where it needs to be tweaked. piece for the side against the arch to go. Just going to now get one of those long battens and cut off the 2 long lengths that are going to run along the back of this and also the top to fix it to the roof of the wall. Right, well that is shelf half done, probably 50% of what I thought I was going to achieve today.
Yeah.
But I've actually feel like I've done quite a bit. I'm hungry.
Me too.
And ill for you. So let's leave this now. Tomorrow, finish this one up and then I'll turn the switch on that one.
It's your own little space, Nix.
Need to get 2 divides in. One's going to probably sit just this side in here. This is going to be for like our toiletries. And then we'll divide what's left in 2, which means that the wall's going to have to go into the pocket just like this one over here. So I've sort of taken some measurements from the old template from yesterday, just cutting out a new one. It's just easy just to do a new one every single time, make sure it's absolutely perfect. See how it goes. Just going to work out what this measurement here is. Take a line down the middle for our next cupboard. Another great fit. I'm getting pretty good at this. I don't want to say that too loudly because there's still some more to do. But yeah, pleased with that. So I'll get these 2 screwed in and then it's on to the very final one. Meanwhile, Sarah's been sanding and prepping for her painting.
I don't try not to speak because my throat hurts.
Yes, you're very ill now.
I'm still not great.
Feeling really good about this. They seem huge. I swear our old ones are like so much smaller than this. I think what it is actually that the back is like here and the wall is further forward, so just the depth and the height inside, it seems huge. Time to move on to this one here, which is going to be the same, just one cupboard space, so I'm not going to do any of the inserts, but this one is going to protrude out over the door around the same distance as our counter that's going to be here. This is kind of similar to how we are in the old van. We added this shelf about 1.5 to 2 years ago, and I actually really like having it there. It kind of ties the kitchen space together. I was just out running and was thinking about this other side and then realised I meant to put the lights up before even doing that side, because they need to, well, the wires have to go underneath this ceiling, and that's going to be a hell of a lot easier to do without cabinets attached to the ceiling.
Oops.
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 But there's still time to do it now, so I'm currently just holding this in place while Sarah works out where these lights want to go. Okay. I guess it's a case now of just take some measurements. We'll probably work on the whole length of this roof, divide it by 3 and put these lights at on the thirds, spaced equally, kind of equally between these, but in one of the slats. What I need to do is try and get this wire through that hole and all of them heading over towards that corner. And to do that, I'm going to try and use one of Nix's toys. This is essentially like you can stick it to stuff, and then we usually have got like a feather on the end that she chases like a bird. But I'm hoping that this flexible wire I can push through the hole and then hopefully guide it towards where it needs to be. I'm getting too excited, but it appears to be working. I'm a genius. We've got a little junction box that all of these all connect into. And then I've got the wires running through a little bit here where there's no pinch point, where there's a bit of a hole in the van. Just been and bought another load of that Prairie Winds paint because Sarah's got loads to do and definitely going to run out of that first tin. She's going to be doing all the painting in the back today whilst I'm working on that next cabinet. We're going to get back now, get started. So I've just taken some measurements from the old van for how big this cupboard kind of needs to be. So it sits over the top of our kitchen counter underneath it. It's going to be 107 in length, and then it's a 30.5 to match the depth of the cupboard behind the wall, so they sit the same distance off the wall. Sarah, so when this shelf sticks out round the corners,
Which shelf?
off this cupboard that I'm making now, yeah.
Oh yeah. I thought I just think it'd be better so because you hit your head so often.
Yeah. Time for another cardboard template just for this end piece here. We'll do it in cardboard, and I probably will test this on a bit of wood as well. We'll see though, we'll see. This one is proving very difficult to sort of get right just by eye, so I'm going to make a very quick little stencil maker.
Yes.
So I'm feeling the pressure today because you're cracking on and doing loads. This wall's done now. You're making the start on this one.
I know. It's so nerve-wracking, but I think it looks really good.
Yeah.
I'm really happy with this paint. So it's actually really enjoyable to paint with. This is such a bitch to paint with.
Okay, that fits. Surprisingly, actually not as difficult as I thought, so maybe I'm just overestimating it. I'll try and get that cut out of some thin wood, maybe an old offcut, before doing it in the thicker wood. I'd say that's pretty good, actually, in terms of fitting around the beam. We're still off the ceiling. I don't know how level that. So I feel like we're getting very, very close with this one, but I will admit it's a lot easier to make sure that these are square and straight when the lower shelf is already up. So even though it's going to be a bit awkward to do, I'm going to try and put that lower shelf up with what I can do. Okay, it's a little bit crude with this janky setup. This should get it at least in until we can get the board in here alongside. Much easier to work on getting this to fit. I just cut off a bit of that bottom and see if that goes in nicely now. Yeah, that now is the perfect size, so I'm going to cut that out of the thicker wood. See how that fits. Just finished up this cupboard now. Really nice. Nice overhanging shelf. We are going to put a rail around here, but that's at a later date. I'm going to go around the back and see what Sarah's been up to. Oh wow. Because I've been in the front, I haven't really seen this until now. I've kind of looked through here and seen a little glimpse, but oh, it looks so nice from here.
Isn't it nice?
Good job.
Thanks. I'm really pleased with my colour choice.
How much more have you got to do?
Well, I'm just trying to fill in all these gaps. There's quite a few. I also need to paint this, and the inside. My next job is going to be getting all the wood for the roof cut. Currently, it's actually just sitting underneath the van, and we've been lucky that it hasn't really rained. It's 5.2 metre length or something like that, so it's actually longer than this full van. To get it home from the shop, I had to have it out the window. So I'm going to try and get those at least measured and cut for the roof in here. Now it's just lots of measuring.
I've actually got some here that fit there perfectly, so I know that they're already the right size. You need to take full length of this space. So I think that's all of the wood cut. The next thing we really need to get done is these counters here, just because that helps us to then know how much tongue and groove we're going to need for these walls here. Can't get that done right now, as I've ordered the wood. Need to go and collect that tomorrow. Before that point, there is a few little things around that I can sort of fill in and do. There's a lot of little stuff that in my head I'm going, I'll just do that later on, I'll come back to that. But maybe it makes sense to tick off a few of those things as we go. Whilst I'm thinking that, I also did forget something we said we were going to do, which would be to set our lights behind these cupboards so we can't see them. It's just a nice glow. This is the aluminium housing, the same we've got on the back over there. I just need to work out a way of setting this in behind there. We've got to consider that this wall is being tongue and grooved, so it wants to be at least in that far off the wall, and then maybe a little bit more so that the shadow isn't just directly down, probably like 20-30 mil in from there. I'm actually wondering if maybe it's easy to cut a channel at the bottom of this and then set that inside. So this ruler is 2.5 centimeters thick, so I've placed that against the line I drew for the edge of the tongue and groove, and then set this 2.5 centimeters in. I'm just going to draw the channel width now using the aluminium housing. This one's obviously quite a lot longer than the other one, and whilst it's going to have the strip lights running the whole way along, they're going to be split, so we have a switch for both of them. So we've got it in the current van, and we quite like the flexibility of being able to control different moods and lighting within the van. So we'll cut it as one long strip, but the lights will have wiring at either end. Thank you. Right, so that glue's drying. Now I can move on to stage 2. First of all, cutting these down to fit, and then it'll be soldering up the lights. So if you remember me mentioning before when we did the ones in the bedroom how awkward this stuff was to solder, it's because you've got to try and solder onto those tiny little bronze, or copper I would guess, contacts there. It's really difficult. I've got 3 short bits of cable. I'm going to use this to solder to. It's a little bit easier than doing it in the van. And then I'll join this to the wiring we've set up inside when we get there. Just going to stick all of these down inside these housings. Now onto that tricky soldering. So I'll strip back this wire, put a bit of solder on the actual wire, we'll prime that. We'll try to prime the tiny little contacts in here, and then it will just be a case of touching the two together, hopefully bonding them. Sometimes it works first try and it's really easy, other times it's like a 40-minute headache of trial and error. So now I just need to touch them up, join them together, and hopefully not short circuit them in the process or break the solder that's there. This is the bit I found that's really difficult in the passage. It's just so fiddly and tiny. Oh, I fucking hate soldering. This is quite literally taking me all day. It's making me very frustrated. I've been going now at this for around 2 hours and I've only managed to do 4 wires. I hate soldering so much, but the problem is that it's trying to solder in there is so tight. It's just so difficult and fiddly, and it's so easy to get it wrong. and just completely ruin everything you've done so far. Very pleased to say that they are done, and I hope I never ever have to touch soldering iron again. Worst job so far on the van, completely, by a long way. Kind of matches the very grey, cloudy day we have today. Feels really strange to actually have a day that is overcast. It seems like we've had actually a really, really good run of weather. The very final job we have to do before we can put these back up and paint them is to drill a little hole through this woodwork for this wire to go through, just so we don't see any of that outside. Then we can fix them back in, paint them before finally fitting these once all that's done. Well, that's those back in. I do feel like I've kind of wasted my whole day just fighting with soldering, getting very frustrated, but there was something that we needed to do at some point anyway. Wasn't really avoidable, and I guess the best time to do it is on a day when you're waiting for wood and other deliveries, so not the end of the world, and it's still good progress, and this will look really, really good when it's done. I'm going to move on to this cabinet here, the one that's going to house our sink, our cooker, our fridge, like kind of the kitchen cabinet counter. It's going to go here roughly the same size as the previous one, so I'm going to run over to the old van, take some measurements, and then we can start cutting wood to build basically just the frame, the carcass. All the drawers and doors are going to be done like later on. We're just going to work on getting the sort of framework built for this one here. The construction of these, we want 3 of these full height boards, which are going to be the end this side, and then 2 for divides, which are going to have drawers either side of them. The very far side against the arch wall, we won't cut one of these boards, we'll just fix straight into the wall, and that way we can maximise the width. Hello. Right, now this is kind of fancy tool, not fancy at all. Bought off Amazon for like £6. But what it does is it allows me to drill pocket holes. It means we don't have to use L brackets, we can just use screws, and it all looks quite neat, tidy and hidden. Kind of tempted to go around and revisit some of the cupboards that we built with the brackets and just replace it with this, just because it's a little bit neater. I think it actually makes sense to cut out another one of these boards just for the middle. One of the 2 like wall divides, just because it gives me something to help fix this up at the right height and keep it level all the way along. So it's obviously a different day, I'm wearing different clothes, and obviously that fell to pieces as I was trying to lift it up. I sort of gave up after that and was like, oh, frustration. But coming out today and on second inspection, it's actually not too bad. The screws I think I was using were just too short, and the minute there was any sort of like lateral load on it, they just ripped out of here. So all of these are still fine. Probably be able to use this board anyway. The other ones that are going in the middle, where these brackets are, well, where these holes have been ripped out, there's actually holes cut through, you know, for these wood to pass through. So I'll use this for one of the divides. I'll recut this now out of a new bit of wood, and then hopefully we can get it up this time without any issues. Just actually need to trim off these corners off this one, and this is where the screws were, so it's actually not wasted any wood. Realise what is actually straight is the edge of the board here, so I can actually just take my measurement from this edge line and then use that to mark on the floor where everything else is going to go to. It's like rain, sun, rain, sun, rain, sun today. I keep getting everything out, coming in here, starting a few bits, and then suddenly it starts raining and I have to quickly pack everything away again. Seb is pointing at the holes we made in the floor for our water drop out. We drilled these in the floor kind of based on the previous van, and then we've both been looking at them over the past few weeks, like they look like they're quite far in the middle of the room.
Yeah, I think you're a bit close.
Well, what I've done is gone basically as close as we can go, so we're like 1 centimetre wider than the old van.
Alright.
What's weird is, because of how our walls have improved, like our space in here, both of these are going to be like just a little bit wider because of those holes in the floor.
Oh, that's good.
But our gap in the middle is going to be bigger as well.
How?
Because the walls, because we've gained.
How did he do the wall so bad?
I know. Still got a bit of work to do on it, but we actually have to go out for dinner. But that's looking good. Looking forward to getting that finished tomorrow. Hopefully it doesn't rain as much as it has done today. It feels like we're really battling the weather at the moment. It's another day. It's now like afternoon. It's just been raining on and off all morning. I'm in here trying to get done what I can do. I'm going to try and fit these boards into the divide where it's going to sort of like separate our different drawers. We'll also need to try and cut a back for this and something for this end too, but it's going to have to be kind of like as and when with the rain. Just have to try and get out quickly and cut this when I can do. By at least measuring the same distance from the end, I can guarantee that these are going to be vertical, which will be great for doing our drawers. And we're going to have drawer at this end here for the fridge, and at the top's going to hold the sort of bottom of the sink. This is going to be our main sort of drawer section, and then this will be an open, potentially open area for just storing other things. We have this in the current van. It's great for things like, you know, washing up towels, oil, things like that. Just easy storage in for things, and cat food. Still raining, and I had a bit of a depressing look at the weather forecast, and this looks like the next week is going to be on and off, so we're going to have to just deal with it and work around the wetness. But what it is giving us is little bits of downtime and the chance to think and slow stuff down, because if it wasn't for the rain, this would probably already be done. I'd have just ploughed ahead. But the chance to take a break and think about what we're doing has given me a chance to think about how the cupboards are going to fit and how they're going to look. Sarah showed me some of her stuff from her mood board, and it's kind of changing a little bit about how I'm thinking of doing it. I've got a slight sort of drawing in here. I think I'm going to try and keep this one solid, and then maybe with these ones just use wooden braces just to try and save a bit of weight, and then we'll put this sort of front section on top of that. This is actually going quite well. I've got those shelves cut to go in this end here, and they're going to be the same height as the drawers. So I've just taken a little pause from my cutting to come and measure up on here where things are going to go. It is properly dark now, but it's not raining, so I've been trying to just keep working until it's just too late. I'm just going to try and get this shelf installed in here. So this is pretty much where it needs to be now. We've got a worktop that needs to go on top. It's going to finish it off. And then the drawers that are going to go in here, I think I'm going to be waiting until a later date to work out exactly how to do those. I'm kind of thinking what I'll have to do is once the front is on this, measure and cut the drawers, and then I'll probably have to fit some rails down here to help put the runners on so the drawers will slide in and out. I'm going to make a few little modifications to the cupboards up here. I'm just going to change all these L brackets out for the little pocket screws, and now that I've put that hidden light thing in, it doesn't actually fit nicely anymore, so that needs addressing. It's not raining at the moment. I'm going to take this opportunity to try and clean a little bit and then start getting the roof up, which is going to be super exciting. Starting with the middle, yeah?
I guess. I don't know. Is that how it works?
Yeah. Should we get the thing up?
I'm painting this separately,
yeah? Yeah.
You've chipped off my paint.
What?
Chipped off my paint.
I've not chipped it off, it's because I had to move this over a little bit.
Fucking chipped it
It's
off.
not chipped, it was actually behind this.
He's chipped it.
He's chipped it.
He's chipped it.
He's tipped it.
This looked pretty good. One final thing to wrap up this great afternoon work is get our window cover on, because then this is looking even closer to finished. So then this should hopefully
Stop being useless. You made me flinch.
Oh yeah. I've got to step down to take a better look. Oh, it looks awesome. From this side, it looks so good. It's nice to see the colour scheme all coming together.
I'm pleased. Do I need to paint it again?
No, I don't think so.
It looks okay in the dark. It's just when it's sunny, it doesn't look like great.
I'd wait and see it in natural light tomorrow. Very good, productive day. Tomorrow, time to crack on with this.
So you're done with that one?
For now.
Okay, cool. Nice.
So nice having this almost finished, it looks amazing. So nice in the light of day. Just one final thing I need to do, which is fit in some panels to cover that up. So I've cut that at an angle, and I hope that it will fit to the ceiling a bit nicer. We'll go see how it is. That's in. Obviously not painted yet, but when that is painted, that'll look really neat. Tie this whole space together, which is looking awesome. I've moved the cardboard and all these to be painted bits of wood in here so that it's a little bit more open and clear in here, as I need to start working on this side and this cabinet here now. So I did crack on and get that done, along with a hell of a lot more. But just like the last video, it's getting a little bit long, so we're going to end that one there. Basically, when I went to America, I fell behind in all the editing, and now I'm just sort of catching up, so we don't have nice clean endings to each video. That should change though, as I'm now, I think, 2 days ahead of where this video is going to end. So we will catch up, and we've done loads. Cannot wait to show you how the front's looking, because it's transformed now. Anyway, thanks for watching. We'll catch you on the next. In there. Can't get the tongue in.